Hi everyone. I hope you are ready for Bible study with me, author Teresa Sky again. I am holding the microphone to my mouth so to try to drown out background noises. I hate this glare that the light reflects on my glasses. But I can barely see without them. But anyway. Hope you're ready for Bible study with me, author Teresa Sky. If you have not heard of my book, please go to Amazon and look up The Story of a Secret Giftholders by author Teresa Sky. It is a story of women archangels, and if you like fiction or fantasy, then I think you will love this book. And if you like stories about angels, you'll definitely love this book. I have gotten some really good reviews on the book, so I think that you will love it. So let's give it a shot. It's cheap, and if you're looking for something to read, something new to read, this would be great for you to read. If you are a writer yourself, or if you have a business you would like to promote with me, please leave your information in the comments. But let's get on with our Bible study, 2 Thessalonians, author Paul. Written around AD 51, a few months after 1 Thessalonians. And if you have not been with me, and if this is your first video, I want to let you know that I am going backwards with my Bible study. I'm not starting from Genesis and going to Revelations. I started at Revelations, and I'm working my way all the way back down to Genesis. So right now we're on 2 Thessalonians. And how I do my notes is sometimes I write word for word, sometimes I paraphrase. That's why I encourage you and I suggest that you pull out the Bible and go along with me, read along with me. I'll let you know what chapter I'm on, so you can just read along with me. I won't be reading like the whole book word for word, but just taking out the important things that we need as Christians to know and talk about and discuss. Okay, so we're 2 Thessalonians. The author is Paul. It was written around AD 51, a few months after 1 Thessalonians. Chapter 1. Paul states this letter is from him, Silas, and Timothy. So before this, he was talking to Timothy. He wrote a couple letters to him to encourage him in the faith. But apparently Timothy has made his way to him where he was at, and it's possible that he was in prison at this time. Well, Paul was in prison at this time. It's possible. But they're all together now and writing a letter to all the people of the church. And not just of the church then, also they're speaking to the people now that's in church and that is of the church or the body of Christ. Chapter 1. Paul states this letter is from him, Silas, and Timothy. And Paul says, endurance and faithfulness in all persecutions, hardships, and sufferings will make you worthy of God's kingdom. God will pay back those who persecute you. Persecute. The definition is to harass or punish in a manner designed to injure, grieve, or afflict, specifically to cause to suffer because of belief. Also means to annoy with persistence or urgent approaches such as attacks, pleas, or importunities, or to pester. Importunity. means persistent, especially to the point of annoyance. And pester means trouble or annoy someone with frequent or persistent requests or interruptions. Just thought to throw in, every now and then I will throw in definitions to help you understand um, words better. If there is something that you don't understand, please leave it in the comments. You know, I'm very open to all questions. So about the Bible or about what I'm reading, I would love to talk it over with you. So that's the whole point of Bible study, is to talk it over. So if you have any comments, questions, please don't hesitate to let me know how you feel. I'm going to read that again, chapter 1, when Paul talks to the church. And he says, endurance and faithfulness in all persecutions, hardships, and sufferings will make you worthy of God's kingdom. God will pay back those who persecute you. Paul continues to say, you will be provided rest for your persecutions by God. Jesus will appear from heaven with his mighty angels in flaming fire, bringing judgment on those who don't know God and doesn't obey God's good news. And of course, the good news is the gospel. Disbelievers and troublemakers will be punished with eternal destruction, forever separated from God and his power. On that day, God's people will praise and honor God. So Paul is talking about, don't worry about being persecuted or going through sufferings as a Christian, because you're going to get the last laugh in the end. They may be laughing now, but yeah, they're not going to get the last laugh. There's a saying, ye who laughs first never laughs last. So that is something to think about when you're being mocked by people who are disbelievers, atheists, or what have you. And Paul just says, when that hour comes and Jesus comes back, he's coming back, with flaming fire and mighty angels, bringing judgment on those people who mocked you, hurt you, killed you. Because there's people who will kill you. There's still people to this day who will kill you if you say you are a Christian. It's crazy, but that's why I don't understand, how. It's not easy being a Christian. That's one. Being a Christian is one of the hardest religion, and I think that's why so many people go away from it, because it's not for the weak. I can tell you that it is not for the weak. It will test you and test you and test you. It will test you. Because, but it's to strengthen you. When you realize what those tests are to strengthen you. Being a Christian is not for the weak. It's not, and that's why so many weak people go away from it, because they don't like the pressure. They don't like the testing, so it's like, but once you realize, like I said, once you realize what is actually going on, then you come back and God will accept you back. If you have left the faith, God will accept you back. And don't let people who think they're holier than thou, turn you away from God or your faith, because no one's perfect and God never expects anyone to be perfect. But as long as you are obeying God, doing the best that you can, he judges your heart. He judges your heart, not, above all else, he knows there's things that is not in your control. So that's why God judges your heart. Paul continues to say, may God's children have the power from God to live a life worthy of his call, accomplish all good things your faith prompts you to do, and may you honor God's name by doing this. This will also honor you. All made possible by God's grace. So, um, so God's children, Paul prays for God's children because he wants God's children to, to be strengthened. And the only way you're going to be strengthened, and that is through God. Because the world would also test you and test you and test you. And I would rather be tested by God than the world. Because at least with God, he going to test you, but he going to bring you out to better. Like on the other side. Like, you may get tested, but you're going to be blessed too. And he's going to give you the strength to be tested. When the world tests you, you got no strength, no help from God, nobody. That's what makes it hard. And that's when people turn to things of the world to try to soothe their pain and hurt. And you can't turn to the world to soothe your pain and your hurt. You can't do it. You got to go to God. That's the only somebody that's going to soothe your pain and your hurt and help you through whatever you're going through or suffering through. It's definitely hard. It's definitely hard to keep the faith. I mean, Paul was in prison. He was in prison and he kept the faith. He could have started thinking negative. He could have started saying, all kind of things against God and decided to turn against God, but he didn't. He didn't. He kept the faith. And I'm more than sure he's with God now, waiting to be reunited with, all the brothers and sisters of the faith, Let's go on to chapter 2. Events before God's second coming. So Paul starts to tell us this is what you look out for, because these are the things that's going to happen before God's second coming. Paul says, don't be easily shaken or alarmed by people who say the day of the Lord has already begun. Don't be fooled by them. Don't believe them, even if they say they had a spiritual vision, revelation, or a letter from the apostles. They are liars. They are liars. Well, I put that last bit in there. I said they are liars. And that's true. Because you have so many people now. I mean, the Bible warns us about this, but you have so many fake prophets. People claiming to be prophets, apostles, seers. I mean, just saying that they're getting all kind of visions from God, but they don't even believe in God. Most of them is pimps and con artists. And this is true. And if you can't spot a pimp or a con artist, you ain't gonna spot them. And they prey on people who's not aware of them. They prey on the young and the old and the naive. There's a lot of people out there like that, But I just pray that those who are being conned, just wake up and realize, yeah, you're being conned by most of these people. But it's just got so many fake people, and it just irks me when they say they have a vision from God. And then, like, most of the time when they say they have visions from God, it's like, for one, God will not even give you a vision like that. So why would you even say that's a vision from God? It's like, it's crazy. They don't know who God is. They don't know who the devil is. And they don't want to listen to you when you're trying to give them advice. So that's why I think most of these people, they're antichrist. The ones that claim they have these fake visions, they're antichrist and they know what they're doing. That's why they're not listening to you when you're trying to correct them. Because they know what they're doing. They want to trap, trick, and fool people. And don't be fooled by the outward appearance. I don't care how good looking they are, how cute, how pretty, how beautiful you think they are. Don't be fooled by the outward appearance of a person. Because it's the soul that matters. Because they could be looking good outside, but their soul could be rotten. So it's always the interior, the interior of a person, they soul. We are souls in a body. We're not we're not flesh in a soul. We are souls in a body. And like when God said, we're fighting against spirits in high places. We're fighting against princes and principalities of a dark world. Spirits. And you think those spirits don't inhabit bodies? Yeah, they do. Be aware. But Paul also says he will come. Well, he says, when the real day of the Lord will come, like there is a great rebellion against God. And the man of lawlessness, also called man of sin or antichrist, is revealed. He will bring destruction. He will exalt himself, defy everything that people call God and every object of worship. He will sit in the temple of God, claiming he is God. Let's see. Yeah, I want to go back to what I previously was saying when I said the day of the Lord. We don't be fooled by people who say the day of the Lord has already begun. There's a lot of people that say, oh, you're already in hell. Or there are people that would say, oh, there is no hell. Or they'll say the world was supposed to end in 2012 when about the Mayans. Those Mayans are not God, okay? There's a reason why we don't hear from them today. Those people they was not God. I don't care. They may have knew things about the spiritual realm, but if they didn't know God, then yeah. Even people who know God don't know when the end of the world is going to happen. So I seriously doubt if they knew. And obviously they didn't know because 2012 has gone and passed. So then you have people who just come up with all kind of excuses. Oh, well, it wasn't supposed to be 2012. It probably was supposed to, the 2012 probably meant something else. They just try to come up with all kind of excuses instead of just reading the word and following it and reading the Bible and following God. That's all you got to do. Obey God. That's all. I know it can be hard sometimes to obey God when you're distracted by so many things in the world. I understand. I know. I'm human. I've experienced it all as well. So I know that the world can distract you. But pull yourself back. When you see yourself going astray, you pull yourself back. Or if you can't pull yourself back, then that's when you ask God to help you. Come on back to Him, Be the best thing you can ever do for yourself is to get to know God and to have Him as your shield and guide and protector. That's a beautiful thing. So it says there will be a great rebellion against God. Well, the day of the Lord will be like a great rebellion against God, like there is a great rebellion against God. And the man of lawlessness, also called man of sin or antichrist, will be revealed. He will bring destruction. He will exalt himself, defy everything that people call God and every object of worship. He will sit in the temple of God, claiming he is God. Now, some people think that this could be like an American president that could be like the Antichrist. I don't know. I don't think it could be an American president. I think that the Antichrist is most likely going to be a pope. Um, because I don't know. I just feel that. I don't know. Because of the lowercase g in the word God and that word every, where it says every. I'm thinking he will attack our religion that honors or exalts any entity calling itself a God. Now, I don't know, it's saying he will sit in the temple of God claiming he is God, and he will defy everything that people call God and every object of worship. So it's saying every object of worship. So it's not specifically saying like the Christian objects of worship. I'm thinking any religion that calls itself God, like even a Muslim religion or any other kind of religion, because they say they pray to Allah, um, and so I mean but so they have a God like person too. So I'm thinking any religion that prays to a God or has a entity or deity, like one specific deity or entity that they worship, that they worship. I think that this person, this Antichrist, is going to attack all religions. Um, and I think it's going to do that to throw more trickery. Uh, it's very um, it's very strategic, I would think. Um, and mainly, his goal and objective is, of course, to attack God. Is to attack God. Um, I think that, of course, the entity is going to try to attack God and God's people, but to throw God's people off is going to like try to attack all the other religions that claim to worship God too, but don't really worship Him, but they say they do. You know, that's what I think, if that makes sense. And the temple of God is human bodies. So this Antichrist will be, I'm thinking, a demonic spirit living in a human body, calling itself a God or the God, like Almighty God. Like, I think it's going to be some kind of demonic spirit claiming to be the God, and I'm starting to think maybe, because people talk about aliens and stuff, and I was looking at this one documentary where this so-called medium was claiming to talk to alien that was saying that it was the God, and it wasn't. It was some freaking demon, but but they was up there believing it, and um, and first of all, God's not going to talk through a medium. That's for sure. God want to talk to you. He gonna talk to you specifically, directly. You know, he don't need no medium, no person to help him talk. God is God. He is Almighty. He is the Alpha and the Omega for a good reason. Can I get an amen? Paul also says the Antichrist can only be revealed when his time has come. This lawlessness is already secretly at work until the one holding it back steps out of the way. So the one holding it back possibly could be an angel or God himself. Paul says Jesus will slay the Antichrist with the breath of his mouth and destroy the Antichrist by the splendor of his coming. God's coming, Jesus coming. So just the presence, just the sheer presence of God is going to kill and destroy this Antichrist. The Antichrist will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit powers, signs, and miracles. He will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction because they refuse to love and accept the truth of God that will save them. I really think this Antichrist is going to be somebody that the world loves, that the world finds attractive. This person's probably going to be handsome, could be a man or a woman. I think everybody is expecting a man, but it could be a woman. It's going to be someone very attractive. It's going to be to the world standards. It's going to be someone most likely that's rich, have money, someone that looks good on the outside, but it's really evil on the inside. And I think that is how it's going to fool and trick a lot of people who are babes in their faith, who are not fully mature as being Christians. They are going to most likely fall victim to it if they don't listen to the mature Christians. And I will have to say, because I was once a babe in my faith, but I have matured. I believe that I am a mature Christian. I used to be a babe, but I knew I was a babe. I knew I was a babe in my faith. And I would tell God all the time, I was a babe in my faith, and for him to help me, and he did. And I went through some stuff, that strengthened me. It was I went through some trials and tribulations, but it strengthened me and made me more mature in my faith. Do I know everything? No. But I know enough to teach others, and that's what I'm trying to do with my Bible study that I got going on here. I would say I'm mature in my faith. I am a positive person, a positive thinking type of person, which I wasn't at first. At first I was a negative thinker, but now I am more of a positive thinker. And I think that sometimes can make me a little naive. Sometimes. My positive side, like the positive thinking side, sometimes it can make me a little naive to certain people. That's why I've learned, that's why I say I'm mature in my faith, that's why I've learned to observe which I've always been an observer, but I've learned to just not take people for face value for what they say. I let people reveal themselves, because at some point you're going to reveal yourself. So before I say such and such about a person, like, I let them reveal who they are first, and I sit back, and it could take, it may take a while, because some people are really good at hiding who their true selves are, But unfortunately for me, I am an empath, and it sucks. I know a lot of people say they are empathic and they're not, and it irritates me that everybody wants to be an empath. Look, it ain't something that you should want to try to obtain if you're not born with it. I was born with mine, unfortunately. And I could see underneath people. I could see the soul of people. And which is why it has always been very hard to fool me. It's always been very hard to trick me. Because I could always see the intentions of a person, if you know what I mean. Like I could see it in the person. I could see their heart. God had given me the gift to see the person's heart. And but because of this, I thought that I couldn't get tricked. And yeah, a couple of years ago, yeah, I got tricked because I had always been right, and so that's I can tell you, um, when God said even the best of the people is going to get tricked, oh, He meant that. And see, God do not lie. He do not lie, and He can't lie. When God said even the best of the people will be tricked, He meant that. And and how I say I was tricked, I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, yeah, it's like I don't know. It was just weird. That's all that I can say. I was just weird. It was this person I was talking to, and it was just weird. Um, and I ignored like all of the signs and all of the red flag signs um, of this person. And like I said, when somebody show you a red flag sign once, believe it. You know, and I was normally that type of person. I've always like even when I was a kid, like I was always that type of person. To where if somebody showed me who they were, I believed them. I didn't say, "Oh well, let me give this person the benefit of the doubt." I was never like that. Not until I had run across this one person, and I refused to say the person's name because it's like saying the name of a demon. I'm just glad to be rid, you know, of this person. But um, yeah, some people are freaking just evil. That's all I can say. Um, but yeah, moving on. The I'm gonna cut this off in a minute because I'm like 33 minutes. I'll probably do a part two or something. Well, let me finish this up. I'm almost done with Second Thessalonians. It says the Antichrist will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power, signs, and miracles. He will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction because they refuse to love and accept the truth of God that will save them. And that's so very true. There's so many people that refuse God. They refuse to accept Him. Um, and the Antichrist they're going to be like prime pickings for the Antichrist. Whenever he reveal or show himself, which I think he probably are. I don't know. I can't say. I think he already has revealed himself. Just don't know who he is yet. Like he haven't revealed himself as such. But as Christians, when he do finally reveal himself, we gonna know who he is, and we gonna warn people. But they ain't gonna listen to us. Just like they didn't listen to Noah when he was trying to warn them about the lifestyle they was living. God was not pleased with it. They didn't listen. You saw what happened to them. So don't be like those people that didn't listen to Noah. If you are an atheist or unbeliever who is listening to me, when a person who is mature in their faith as a Christian tells you something to be aware of, you better listen. That is for your safety. It's for your safety. You may not understand it at the moment because you're not spiritually aware of God and all the things that are around you. But listen to someone who is mature in their Christian faith. Paul continues to say God will cause them to be greatly deceived. They will believe his lies. So the people, who refuse to accept God and his truth to save them, God's going to cause them to be greatly deceived. They will believe the Antichrist lies. Then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth of God. So apparently this Antichrist is going to be telling these people, apparently the Antichrist is going to be telling these people that the bad things that they are doing is good and the good things is bad, which we're already seeing it now. There's not one specific person that's telling people this, but we're already seeing now that people are being taught the opposite of what is good and what's bad. My bad sport. Let's see. Paul continues to say, God's children, stand firm, keep a strong grip on the teachings of God. May God, by his grace, give us eternal comfort, wonderful hope, comfort, and strength in every good thing that we do and say as Christians. So may God be with us when this Antichrist reveals itself, because even the best of us will fall. So don't ever think that you so high and mighty and that you can't be tricked by the Antichrist. Don't think that. You pray to God that you don't be tricked by the Antichrist. That's what I could tell you, because them things is tricky. They're good at what they do. Hell, even, excuse me for cursing. But even a lower level demon can trick somebody. So Antichrist, most likely this is going to be somebody that's higher, something that's higher level. And so them things gonna be able to trick people. And they're gonna be able to trick the Christians that are mature. And I hope that they don't get too many of us. I hope and pray that we stand and band together as Christians. And I hope and pray that not too many of us fall for it. I just hope and pray that we are strong and don't fall for the lies of Satan and his helpers. Because it says this Antichrist, it says that it is going to do Satan's work, but it's not Satan just going to do his work. It could be one of his sons. I'm only sure he got a lot of them out there. And it's supposed to do powers and signs and miracles, trying to pretend to be God or an angel, and it's not. So beware. Okay, last chapter 3. And Paul says, pray that God's message spread fast and be honored wherever it goes. Pray you will be rescued from wicked and evil people, because everyone is not a believer. The Lord Yahweh is faithful. He will strengthen you, guard you from the evil one and all evil. May God lead your hearts in a full understanding and expression of the love of God and the patience endurance that comes from Jesus, Yeshua. Stay away from believers who live idle lives. Don't follow the traditions of the apostles. It says stay away from believers who live idle lives and that don't follow the traditions from the apostles. So stay away from believers who are lazy and don't want to work and don't want to do anything that is going to help them. And I'm going to say, you can't really, don't judge somebody too harshly, because it's not your job to judge them. But just kind of stay away from people who don't want to do anything good with themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they don't have to have a 9 to 5 job or whatever, but as long as they have some kind of income, making the money they earn, to eat whatever, like, then they good, But also, if even if they do that, but they still like they don't want to progress or do nothing, if they want to just stay still in the same boat, like they don't want to improve themselves, like, cause I'm always looking for ways to improve myself. I got so many things I need to improve because I am not flawless. I am not flawless. So I have so many things I need to improve. So I'm always looking for ways to improve myself and to do better. But if you find yourself who's a believer who think that they're just perfect and they have no flaws, and you gotta stay away from them as well, because they're not being truthful with themselves. They're not Jesus. Only perfect person that ever walked this earth was Jesus Christ himself. Um, it said also stay away from believers who do not follow the teachings of the apostles. They say we're supposed to imitate the apostles, not people. That's true. Do not be idle, work hard day and night so you do not be a burden. Never accept food without paying for it. Those unwilling to work will not get to eat. Don't live idle lives. Don't refuse to work. Don't meddle in other people's business. Settle down, work to earn your own living. Never get tired of doing good. Stay away from people who refuse to obey this letter so they can be ashamed. They are not your enemies. Just warn them like a brother or a sister. And may the grace of the Lord and the Lord be with you all. So that's all that. That's the last thing that Paul said. So, and it's true. Don't be idle. Don't be lazy. Work hard. Always try to do things to improve yourself, your spiritual growth, and don't think you're a know-it-all and you can't be tricked, or can't nobody trick you, or you can't fall from grace, because yeah, you can. Because I was one of those people that thought I was just I never thought I was holier than thou, but I just was what I was. I used to be one of those people where I thought that nobody, I just felt like that I just thought I could never be tricked. Um, I was just one of those people, but I had to learn the hard way. So as a Christian, um, don't ever think that you're too good or anything like that. Just stay humble, stay kind, and ask God to lead those evil people away from you, and ask God to keep you safe from evil people. And if evil people do run across your path to try to trick you, just ask God to strengthen you so that you do not fall for whatever tricks they're trying to pull. And that is the end of this Bible lesson. Stay tuned, because I'm going to do a part 2. I'm going to do First Thessalonians. You don't have to look at it right away. You can look at it tomorrow whenever you have time. But if you stay with me this long, God bless you. And I hope you have a very good day, night, whatever time of the day you're looking at this video. I really appreciate it. If you can like and share and leave me a comment, ask me anything. I would love it. Please like, share, and comment, and share with others that are believers. Share with other believers. And let them know that, we can have Bible study together. And we can talk about some real stuff, people. Also, if you want to know about these, you may wonder where this patch is coming from. I got a really bad rash. I had got some jewelry. And I cannot think of where I got it from. But I had it for like a year and I never wore it. And so I just, not a, well, yeah, I had about a year, and I wore it like a couple of times during the winter, but I had on a sweater that was covering up my skin. Or I would have on a shirt or something that was covering up my skin, because, it was winter time, keep them warm. So now that the weather is like getting better, because we're getting close to spring, it's March. Um, in a couple of more weeks, spring is coming, and the weather has been getting warmer. So I had wore a dress and I had on some jewelry that was like that same jewelry I was wearing, and it touched my skin, and then I started itching, and I'm like, why am I itching? And it didn't even dawn on me till like hours later. It was a jewelry that was making me itch. And so when I went to go look in the mirror, my whole chest, all of this was green. It was like green from here all the way around. It was like a bright green too. And it had broke out. I had broke out into a really bad rash, and it was like just real, just nasty, man. And opened the rash. I had scratched it because at the time I hadn't looked in the mirror, and like I'm looking down or whatever, I still didn't see anything until I looked in the mirror, and I scratched it, which opened up the rash, and so now I got like got some open wounds on my freaking chest. So I had so I had to like really put some stuff on here, but it's starting to heal up now. It's not as bad because it was worse. It's starting to really heal up now. My body doing its job. It's kicking, out whatever was on that freaking necklace. I don't know what was on that necklace. I don't even know where I got it from. I still don't even know where I got it from because I had it for like a year. I believe a year, and I had not wore it on my skin. I wore it, but it was touching my clothes, and it never did anything to my clothes. Like it never turned them a different color or anything like that. And I would touch it with my hand, and it never made my hand or anything break out. But when it hit my chest, I don't know why it just turned all of this green. It didn't turn my neck green. The part that you put around your neck, that part didn't turn green. It just turned my chest green because it was a cross and some praying hands is what it was. And but yeah, I gotta throw that. I gotta throw it away. I don't even. That's why I'm starting to think I gotta make my own jewelry because I'm not trusting a lot of the stuff that we buy in the stores. They just be hanging out and everybody can grab it and touch it. And so I don't know. I don't know if it was from the jewelry itself. Was it possibly could have been from the stuff that's in the jewelry, like I think it's like the lead or the nickel, or the stuff that be in the jewelry that can turn your skin green. But yeah, and it hurt. It hurt too. Like it hurt and it was itching and it was just getting on earth. But I'm so glad that God is healing it, and glory be to God. But I kept you long enough, and see you next video. Peace. Where's Frank?